And even though it might feel hard and uncomfortable today, when you look at your future self in 20 years, you're going to be so thankful you did what you did today.
Welcome to Boss Bitch Radio. You guys, I just got back from a 7-day vacation and I feel like I have so much to tell you. Now, before I go into that, this episode is with a wonderful woman that I just recently met at a retreat that I went to last month. Kellie, she is a physical therapist. She has an amazing story, and what her and her business partner are doing is absolutely amazing. And so they've asked me to be a part of it with a summit that they're leading. And I was super grateful, and I got to sit with her membership clients and got to talk about women over 40s, hormones, all this fun stuff that you guys know I love to talk about, and super honored to be able to have some time with her people. But today I wanted to introduce you guys to her so you can get to know her wonderful personality, what they're doing, what the mission of this online summit is that they're doing, and give you some more information about that. But she's also talking a lot about muscle, how muscle is your midlife savings account, right? And a lot of what I already tell you guys. So it's nice to hear it from some docs that I have as friends in my back pockets. So we'll have that conversation today. But before I jump into that, if you have been listening to me for a while and you're over on my Instagram, all the things, we're hanging out in all the places, then you know how important it is for me to share my experiences with you and really what's happening along the way. So if you're here for the midlife info that Kellie and I talked about, you might want to scroll past this intro for a minute, but I'm just going to chat with you. I'm literally sitting in my closet right now. My daughter's here. I gave her my office this afternoon, but it's the best place to record because it's quiet. There's no echo, and I'm having a cup of coffee, my last caffeine splurge for the day, and just wanted to chat with you really about some things that have been going on over the past couple months that have led me to really just shifting and feel like I'm growing really quickly, and I'm learning so much in different areas, right? And just really more self-development mindset and stuff that I've already known, but I'm re-immersing myself in because I'm not leading so much with health and fitness anymore, right? Like it's there, it's always going to be there, but I want it to be more like 10% of what I'm talking about. And what I mean by that is like, you guys are smart. Listen, if you're here listening to my podcast, some of you come and tell me over on the gram that you binge and you've listened to every single episode, which, hello, come and say hi if you're doing that and we haven't talked. And you know that, listen, I know my stuff about muscle. I know my stuff about nutrition. We're all smart ass bitches. Like, you would not be listening to my podcast if you were a dummy girl. I don't hang out with dummy girls. Smart girls are here, smart ass bitches. And you know that if you need to get the best workout plan, get the best nutrition plan, that's easily at your fingertips. That's called ChatGPT. It's not rocket science. You're here because you like how I deliver content. You love that I'm transparent. I'm real AF. I'm a real human. I'm going to tell you, don't do that because we don't do that anymore. Like, that's shit our old selves used to do. But I'm also here going along through life, going through some of it with you too. We're walking hand in hand, battling some of our midlife demons together. So the past year, I joined a new mentoring group, a new mastermind coach who's amazing. And I decided to go even further with her. I hired her for a month. If you haven't already been over to Kathy Heller's podcast and or her Instagram, she's just an amazing human. She really is an amazing human. She's changing women's lives on so many levels. And to be a part of that group is awesome. But also it's really bleeding over into what I do and what I stand for alongside my passion for health and fitness. And it's just kind of all melding together to really help me feel even more of a powerful and creative source with everything that I've experienced, so I can bring it forward to other women. I think if you've been here along the ride, you've heard me talk about, human design and all these fun little things that I'm learning, self-development, personal development things. And it just really anchors me into who I am as a woman, why I'm here on this earth, what I'm here to say, what I'm here to share. And oftentimes I've led with, the fitness piece of things because it just seems in my head the easiest for people to get to relate to. And so now I'm really shifting the conversation, and Kathy's challenged me to spend like 10% of my time talking about health and fitness and 90% of the time actually talking about, healing through a lot of things that I have done, really sharing stories, sharing lots of my trials, tribulations throughout my life's journey, because oftentimes that's how we connect to each other. It's this sameness. It's this similarity. It's like, I see me in you, and I see you have passed that level of, maybe self-limiting beliefs or, negative thoughts about the process of how life is unfolding, and it's behind me. So if I can help another woman by offering my hand, and whether that comes by way of my podcast or speaking at summits or speaking on stages, doing retreats, workshops, that's what the lay of the land is feeling like in my world, and I want to bring you along. So with that, I spent 7 days in Florida, but I think 3 or 4 of those days were at Kathy's retreat with some amazing women, some beautiful leaders, incredible things. And then I just spent 7 days with Renee Landers. So if you don't know who Renee Landers is, I've interviewed her a couple times for my podcast. I'll have my podcast editor drop those episodes in the link if you want to listen to them. She's incredibly motivating. This, like I said, 73-year-old, just full of energy. And we totally hit it off when I interviewed her. And I just remember thinking to myself, before I actually met her through Zoom on the podcast, thinking like, I would love to train this lady. Like, I would love for us to get content together. I planted that seed in my mind probably 2-3 years ago, I think, when we met, and we just spent 7 days together, and I got to train her, and it was a hoot. She's amazing. She is just such a positive, uplifting human. You guys, we probably had at least 10 people came up to us at some given point and were just like gooing and awing all over her. Just like, we see you and you just look amazing. Like, you look like you have so much energy. You have such great like energy and vibes about you. And she's super friendly, and she's really on a mission to spread what she calls a couple things: know old to speak, and the power of yes. And, being in close proximity with her for 7 days, I saw that right, plain as day, as real could be. And she just embodies that to her core, right? She travels a lot. In fact, I'm doing this recording on my phone, and how funny is it that she's texting me right now? But she's given so many really amazing opportunities because of the size of her social media. And so we really connected on that front of things in terms of us both being content creators, aka influencers. I know people gag at that word, but we really take that shit seriously. So we were talking about just some opportunities that she's had. And, she's just such a wonderful, caring human that she was all about sharing as much as she could. She was like, "You're amazing. Why?" She's like, "Why don't you have more followers?" And I'm like, "I'm just kind of shy." Which I'm not, but I spend a lot of time on podcasting and podcast content creation. And, I'm kind of over just doing workout reels and workout content. So I just will post some fun things really now, just to kind of get people to know my personality. And so she was adamant about us creating some content together. And, this woman has zero fear in her when it comes to, let's get this B-roll, let's get this footage. She does not care who's around. She doesn't care who looks at her. And I'm just like, you're my hero. So I'm calling her my Instagram mommy. And that's just how it is, whether she likes it or not. And we just have to laugh about it. But nonetheless, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because several things. One, it's so important to surround yourself with like-minded people. People that like the same things that you are, that you do, that have the same interests, that have the same goals and motivations. And honestly, they have a lot of the same ways of thinking, right? Like, her and I went on this cruise, and we were very clear that we're both very independent women. She's fine if she wants to go do something and I don't want to go. Great. If I want to do something and she doesn't want to go, great. You're a big girl. Like, you do your thing. No offense was ever taken. And let me tell you, we absolutely exercise those boundaries, right? There were times like one day I was just feeling zapped completely because just she's She's very extroverted. She gets her energy from people, where I'm a little bit on the opposite, right? I get drained if I'm too people-y for way too long. I spent a little bit more time in the room, and she went off and did her thing. We met up later. It was great. So it's awesome to have people who you're on the same mental wavelength, and you don't take shit personal. And that was great. We flowed great because of that. And the second thing is that really thinking about what her long-term intentions are, right? We were talking about what she's got on the horizon. She travels a lot. And I said to her, we would both together just run a killer freaking girls trip, whether it's hosting a retreat, whether it's a cruise, whatever. It would be so much fun, right? The value, the experience, the camaraderie, the opening up possibility for women who just maybe don't travel or haven't done something by themselves to come meet a bunch of other random strangers, right? However, if you're listening to me, I've been in your ears. We're besties. You don't just have somebody whispering things in your ear and listen to 3 or 4 years worth of their content and not feel like you know them. So you can guarantee that what we have coming in the pipeline, if you have always wanted to do something like that, if hearing about doing something fun like that with like-minded people gets you kind of oh, I would love to do that. Let's put that on the radar for you. Life is too short. You do not want to have rocking chair regret of things that could have been, should have been, would have been. And you have no idea what this can potentially open up to you for as, some kind of opportunity. And I would especially put girls, women, you ladies, whoever out there that's listening on the hook. If you are in any sort of position of leadership where you are a entrepreneur, you are a CEO, you are a CEO of your freaking household, I strongly believe that it is imperative that us as women invest in ourselves and making ourselves better in any capacity where we are relying on other people to take care of us, or we feel stuck, or we are just stagnant. Oftentimes it's energy that just is not directed in the right place. And a lot of times I've noticed this because I've had my own in-person retreats at my studio, and I've done some amazing workshopping that way, is that oftentimes when we come to some sort of retreat, some gathering of the minds, other women, where things are starting to juggle in our head, it oftentimes catapults us when we get home and sort of dislodges us and gets our brains thinking, okay, where am I playing small in my life, and where do I need to show the fuck up for myself? So this is my loving call to you, my sister boss bitch here that's listening, that has been listening, and maybe you feel like a little something's missing. We are definitely putting some things together. 2026 is going to be incredibly powerful on my end of the world in what I'm bringing, the fire I'm bringing, the intention I'm bringing, and really the change I want to bring for women in another way that is not just here is the perfect macros and here's the perfect body workout blueprint, because unless you're happy underneath that all, none of that matters. I'm going to let you into the episode, but before I do, make sure you take a look at the show notes or the description. I want you to find the link to get on my newsletter, okay? I publish a newsletter once a week for sure. Sometimes I'll do a little bonus episode newsletter in there. It's usually some behind the scenes stuff that I'm doing, things that I love, books that I'm reading, things that I'm listening to, some mindset shit that I will poke at your brain to say okay, let's think about this area of your life. Where could you be doing this? Where could you be doing that? They're almost wonderful little journal prompts. So I am very intuitive and organic with my newsletter approach, which follows the theme of what I want from most women when it comes to listening to their bodies, listening to their gut instinct, listening to what their heart's telling them. So when I send a newsletter, it could be a combination of a few different things. It could be short and punchy. It's just something that I want to remind you of how incredibly powerful you are, and don't stay asleep on it. So find that newsletter link, sign up, and then take a listen to this episode with me and Kellie. I'm going to introduce you to one of my new Instagram friends here, and make sure that you join us on this summit. She's done an excellent job curating some amazing people to be a part of this summit. I'm going to be a part of it. So hello, at least come so you can hang out with me when I'm on and do the damn thing. All right. I love you.
So Kellie, tell us more. Tell us where you started with everything, really where you're at now, and essentially your background in health and wellness.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. My journey really started as a young girl woman, I'll say. I was always an athlete, always thought, as I was moving into what am I going to do with my life, physical therapy really fell into my lap and I kind of checked all my boxes. But I really thought I would be a physical therapist in sports medicine, orthopedic, because that's what my mindset was as an athlete growing up. After going through undergrad and graduate school, I really fell in love with the whole field of rehabilitation and really helping people through more bigger journeys of their life that have been severely injured, maybe through a spinal cord injury, a traumatic brain injury, a concussion, things like that. So I spent most of my career really helping people recover from pretty serious illnesses and injuries. But then probably 20 years into my career, as I was getting older and I was hitting about 40 and seeing so many women with chronic disease and autoimmune and so many things pop up, like, why is this happening? At the same time, my dad he had passed away a few years before of cancer, just way too young. And I started really uncovering in the world, like, why is this going on? What's happening? And once you start peeling back the curtain into the whole world of cellular health and wellness and functional medicine and the whole anti-aging realm, you kind of can't go back. And that's really when I started pivoting into we can take control of our health. We just never knew it before. We didn't know what was capable. And really, we all just kind of lived in the mantra of, oh, whatever my family history was. Oh, my mom had it too. Oh, I've always been like this. And we kind of have settled and satisfied, right? Like, then this just must be it. And so I'm really now bringing women in on a mission with me in my membership program, summits that I run, some products that I offer that know you're in control of your health. It is not just by accident what's going to happen to you. You can control that more than you think. And I think because we've all grown up as caretakers, people pleasers, no boundaries, we've never put our health first. And so really helping women say, like, today, like, now's the time, right? Now is the time.
Yeah, it really is. And I know when we met, it was like instant connection. We had so much, like, amongst our worlds that are in common, right? I'm working with a lot of women in midlife right now. That's a lot of the population that you're also working with. And so we started chatting about all these things, and it was like, light bulb moment here and there. And I said, oh my gosh, I need to get you on the podcast. And what was most fascinating for me is that you were talking about this summit that you're having coming up soon. And so I thought, okay, she's getting all these amazing professionals on. We need to get this into the eyes and the ears of more people because it's remarkable. So I'd love for you to share a little bit more about the summit, what your intentions are for it, who's going to be there, what the goal is, getting all these amazing humans together. So that way the audience really knows the path that you're blazing right now.
Oh my gosh, absolutely love to. And I love that you say you're really helping women thrive in midlife, because the name of my podcast is Thriving in Midlife. So
I love that.
It's right up your alley. So really targeting women. I mean, nowadays people are entering perimenopause into their 30s, some women. Not even like what used to be just 40s is now even this earlier flexation of 30s. So I will say most people coming only because a lot of women in their 30s are still raising families and don't always have the time, energy, and effort to jump into summits and things like that. But really, it's for any woman who is in that perimenopause stage. So if you're in your 30s or into 40s, wherever you are, and then all the way up to this transition of menopause, because it's just this new life. It's not like a day, but we spend a whole chunk of our life, depending on how long we live. It could be 40%, it could be almost half of our life in menopause. And I believe that it should be, if you can learn to dance and navigate through that time, you can go through that whole era of 10 years per se with grace and energy and vibrancy. So the women that are coming to the summit as experts in the field are really trying to uncover something that maybe you've been missing. Like maybe you feel like you can't have any focus and attention and concentration, and you're relating all of that to your hormone changes, or I must be just in midlife. No, right? What can you do about it? And it's the how to. Because so many times it's easy to say, well, it's just because of this. It's because of that. It's because my hormones are all over the place. That's why I can't lose weight. But really, these women are kind of going to debunk all that to say it is in your control. So I love the fact that we have different people from the mindset world. We're even going to have people who are our top experts in yoga that have worked with Deepak Chopra and written books with him. Like they're going to be on. There's going to be people that aren't even clinicians, but they're women that have just done the work and they've become so passionate about what that is in their life. Some more about like ADHD, because people don't know, like, do I have ADHD, or is it just because my hormones are crazy? Or as a woman that's 50, can I have ADHD? Is it just a kid thing, right? Like navigating that. A lot of people just introducing them the world of functional medicine. What does that even mean? What does root cause mean? What is the difference of putting band-aids on symptoms versus getting to root cause? So that's a really big, push and promotion. We're going to be having people talk about hormones, right? And kind of what's some facts that are out there, because right now many health coaches and doctors are finally talking about it, hormone replacement therapy. And so people need to know, like, should I, shouldn't I? What are all the things? And what are this is one area you could try. This is another area you could try. But whether it's hormones, whether it's your focus and concentration, also it's like, let's clean up your gut. Let's get to root cause. So sometimes people don't even know where to start. So I think in the summit, you'll hear from so many different speakers, and each one will walk away with a couple actionable steps. And you probably will find one or two that you're like, yes, that's where I need to start. Yes, that's what I want to do. But really, I just sometimes feel like my superpower is being able to bring in this collective group of people, because together we can really raise, I just say, the wellness IQ of the world, and specifically in women. Because if we're well and we're taking care of ourselves, our community and our family is taken care of.
Oh my gosh, that was so powerful. I love everything you just said. I've been spending more so this year, but last year is when I really started to really dive into perimenopause and really starting to understand that, because I'm approaching 50. So that's something I'm wanting to be more aware of, but also my clients and their phases and trying to really understand how to help them better. But what I found fascinating is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dr. Stacy Sims and her
Yes.
research and being, the sort of the standard for women across the board with screaming, we're not just small men, right? Which is amazing.
Right.
But in her book, Next Level, I was just talking to the girls in my membership group about it, that women in other cultures, like I think it's Japan that she specifically related it to, is they actually look at that phase of life for women as a positive thing. And it's like you're growing wiser. And it's just the way that they talk about it is way different than we do here in the States and in our culture here as an American, society. And I found it fascinating because her research is showing that the women in that culture experience less symptoms overall because they look at it as a positive thing. And so I think it was like 40% less symptoms than those of us here in, Western medicines, so I found that was so mind-blowing. And what I'm really trying to say with my clients right now is make your hormones your homegirls, be friends with perimenopause. She's my bestie, and really lean into it instead of just the way that we even talk about it, right? I know you're big on mindset as much as I am, and just the way that you're even talking about yourself and your body and, oh, I'm old. And I know before we got on, with this conversation, I was talking to you about that I was going to be going on a cruise with a friend of mine who's 73. And one of the things that she says nonstop is quit with the old speak, right?
Yes.
Like stop speaking to yourself and to people about how you're old and you can't do this because you're old. And this woman is more vibrant than most people in their 30s, right? It's insane to me, but I would love to hear your thoughts on what we were taught really about this and where you know the conversation is shifting or where you're actually helping shift the conversation.
And, with my background as, a neurological physical therapist, the brain is really fascinating and the brain is always listening, right? So I always used to say that we need to do the action, not talk the talk, because the body is remembering what we're doing. However, what I'm really have been seeing is so many women, I'm going to call it girlfriending. When they get together, then they just chit chat about everything negative. But hormones and midlife and getting old is this talk that it's, yeah, oh yeah, me too. Oh yeah, me too. I feel like crap too. Oh yeah, I can't get rid of this last 10 pounds either. And it becomes this negative chatter, but that negative chatter is exactly what is limiting them from moving forward. But it's like, that's their comfort because they can all talk about that instead of saying, hey ladies, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's cut this out, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm sick of this crap. We can take control. And it just takes a few of us. And then they're like, oh, wait, what? Oh, I like that energy. I want to follow that energy. But there's not been very many of us that are the light, that are standing up, that are telling the others, like, cut it out already. And so we're just perpetuating this. Every single time you have a conversation, is your conversation going negative about being old, about your family history? You will literally be stuck. But I mean, at 73, she's exactly right. I mean, I tell my mom is 80 on the golf course still 3 times a week. And I'm like, Mom, you need to like talk young, be young. Like, don't talk about, oh, most of my friends are dying or I'm 80 and I don't have energy. No, just like enjoy, be fun. So I just, with my membership group, we just this week had this discussion. It was about seeing yourself in 20 years, right? Your future self. And first journal on what do you look like? What are you doing? What are you wearing? Like fill it all in. So if
this is amazing.
If that's your future self, then what are we doing right now in our behaviors to make sure we match that? And right now, the answers they all had was all physical things. I'm drinking my water or sleeping or I'm exercising. And I'm like, how is your mindset? You need to have a mindset of I'm energetic and I'm vibrant and I'm like, going through life with ease. And like, we have to have this longevity mindset to match the physical of I'm doing the thing. Cause we got to get out of like, I'm wearing my red light mask. I'm doing my sauna. Like it's more than that, ladies.
It really is more than bubble baths and like a spa day, right?
Yeah.
Now, I would love to hear your thoughts when we're really trying to bring this message to women and we're really just lit up about it and we're on fire because we're walking the talk, right? Like even some days when I wake up and I'm just like, damn, like I slept like shit, whatever, my hormones are off, who knows? And it could be so easy for me to just default into just negative habits, right? Like just skipping all of my self-care routine. What do you say to somebody who is like, okay, Kellie, I hear you. That's great, but I'm not feeling that right now, right? Like, what do I do right now that gets me like the 1% better towards feeling like that? Because it might feel like I'm, bullshitting myself in a sense, right? Like telling myself this woo talk and I'm just not there. What are your thoughts? Because I talk to my girls about really embodying the identity and just really taking the actions that person they're trying to become would be taking in any given moment when they're presented with the decision to either stay comfortable and be in their current self identity that they're in right now that's not serving them, or stepping into that new identity. So I'd love to hear what tools and maybe tactics that you give clients when they're just like, it's just not working.
Yeah. And we kind of sometimes hear that a lot. Yeah. So twofold. One is the brain doesn't know the difference of what actually is and what you're putting out there. It's really important to, yes, fool the brain, trick the brain. You kind of have to just do it, ladies. But the other thing is you're kind of talking about embodying this new person that they want to be. It's if they make it easier than they think, because sometimes we think it's like the effort to get there or to do the thing is too much. And that's what all really the research says. If you set your goal too high, your expectations too high, after a day, a week, a short period of time, you're gonna be like, it's too hard. So this may be our end goal, but what's the expectations of today? The expectations of today is I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna see whose life I'm gonna bless, I'm gonna tell myself I'm safe and I'm happy. Whether you slept well or didn't sleep well, like you got to have like what are those couple routines? Because my mantra for the women is if you win your morning, you're going to win your day. If you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, the house is a shit show and you don't eat breakfast and like, if you think your day is going to get any better? No, right? That's the day you eat like crap, you skip the gym, all the other things. But if you start saying, I'm going to win my morning. So what are your 3 non-negotiables, no matter what? Because if you can get up, do a little gratitude, get your water in, get 5 or 10 minutes of some sunlight and some movement of either stretching, walking, like then you've already won. And you can't have a bad mindset if you're like, you've moved your body, you were a little bit grateful for something. And the routines can be like 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. For those of you like, I don't have time in the morning, right? We can maneuver time to whatever we want. We all have plenty of time. So really, I would say find your morning routine that you can master, that you know what? I can do this. And then maybe in a month, you can add on to that morning routine because it's truly, we need more women to step outside. If you're going to be average, ladies, then keep doing everything average. Keep complaining, keep saying it's too hard, keep saying, but I don't feel like it. That's what's common. That's what most people are doing. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you've got to be willing to do some things that other people aren't willing to do. And even though it might feel hard and uncomfortable today, when you look at your future self in 20 years, you're going to be so thankful you did what you did today.
Hey, I know you are knuckle deep in this podcast episode right now, but I am here to just let you know that if you aren't on my newsletter list, this is where you want to be. This is where I will be sharing more behind the scenes content of some things that I'm working on, some projects. If you're interested in any of the retreats or workshops that I'm going to be hosting coming up in 2026 and beyond, you're going to want to be on the newsletter list. Listen, I know email is archaic. I know we hate being in there. I know it's scary, but you can do it. We can do this together because the emails you get from me are not going to be the shit spam emails that you get from everyone else. All right. I'm talking about real stuff that's useful for you in real time, that you can reference, stuff that's going to jog your brain a little bit, make you think about life, not just another influencer who's just spitting a new workout and a meal plan at you. Plus, anytime I create any fun freebies, any actionable tools, steps, or strategies, my newsletter people are the first to get it, and you won't want to miss out, especially for retreats and workshops that are coming up, because this is the shit that makes you the boss bitch that I know that you are dying to be in your life. All right, go check out that link.
I love that. That's such a great mic drop because it can be said for really any goal that somebody sets in their life, I feel like, right? Like when I set out to be a bodybuilding professional, it was a really big and lofty goal. And I never knew or thought it was going to happen, but I just kept telling myself, even in those moments when I didn't want to, like, okay, I don't want to do this to-do list of all these things that are supposed to actually get me closer to that goal. But I just acted as if I was that person and I had to do the things to become that person. And so it was literally an act of be it until you see it. And it was rinse and repeat. And there were days where I'm like, this isn't working. I don't know what's happening. That scale's not moving, right? Like if we're talking about body goals. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, oh, I actually did this thing, right? But it was just the monotonous, repetitive, sometimes seemingly boring, sometimes very difficult things. And oftentimes a lot of things that I really didn't want to do. And let's face it, I don't know about you, but even in this phase of my life, I don't particularly love being in the gym and strength training as much as I used to when I was deep in my bodybuilding days. But it needs to be done. It's like brushing my teeth, right? It just has to be done as part of my routine. So thank you for sharing that.
Because, right, your goal and you embodied this, I am a bodybuilder. So I'm going to do what a bodybuilder does. So
100%.
for women right now in this midlife era, it's this really weird goal. Like, I'm not, maybe you have to pick something. And I say something meaning you're probably not going to be picking bodybuilding for the majority of you out there. Few of you may still be
Right.
doing that, but probably not the majority of you. So it's like, what do you pick? What you pick is your future self. What you pick is, I'm a healthy, vibrant person. So what does a healthy, vibrant person do? Like, you don't even have to
Yes.
think about the crap you're going to eat or not eat. Because what I see is people get into decision fatigue because they're like, should I eat it? Should I not? Should I walk today? Should I not? Should I wear this? Should I not? That decision fatigue kills you. The decision is, I'm a healthy, vibrant person that's going to live a long, healthy life. So that person behaves like this. I don't have to make decisions. It's already been done.
Yes, yes.
That's it.
And it's so interesting that we're having this conversation is headed this way because I mentioned to you that I just had some conversations with women joining my membership. As part of it, we had some clarity calls that we did. So I sat with them, brilliant women, right? One is like a bank manager. She's having a conversation with me in a vault of a bank. Another one is a manager of another company. The other one was a full-time job. She's a CEO or something. And they're desperately wanting the answer to their fat loss woes is the common thread here. And I simply looked at each and every one of them separately on separate calls. And I said, you're in the vault of a bank. You're a fucking brilliant woman. If I told you right now to pick between fried chicken and French fries or some lean protein, a baked potato and some veggies, which is the better option for you? Right? Like, we've outsourced our thinking so much that we need somebody to tell us what to do, but we know what to do.
Right.
We're just not doing it. And so part of it is acting as if, right? Act as if you knew what was the better choice. Act as if you knew. What if you did know? And like, that's how I live my life most of the time, is just like, okay, if I did know, it would probably be this. And I just take some action forward, right?
Take some action forward. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's so much knowledge at our fingertips today that you can find a better option per se,
Yes.
right? Now,
Right.
I do tell people, be careful and don't listen to Chat GPT, every book, every podcast, and just think you're going to keep jumping here to here. Like, this is the thing. This is the thing. There isn't a thing. There's no thing nor person coming to save us, ladies. like there isn't. I
Yes.
wish. That what's going to save you is your actions and decisions of your, like, I am this person. I am going to live this healthy life. And if you have 10 extra pounds around the middle, if you're feeling energized and vibrant and having community and loving life and doing what you want to do, are you going to keep beating yourself up every single day? Like, is that really the end goal? No, the end goal is to have incredible friends and community, be as healthy as you can, and let a little bit of those old indicators that we'd thought of in our 30s, 20s, and 30s, we've got to let those go. I get it. I'm all about, fat and visceral fat, and it's relating to health and disease. So I'm all about helping people get healthier. And so I realize that. But I can't have women keep beating themselves up just because of this little extra something. We're all perfect just the way we are, right?
And I would add to that, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like oftentimes what derails women from sticking to a self-care routine that actually takes care of the only place they have to live, what derails them oftentimes is the frustration when they're getting on the scale and it's not moving. And so that's a lot of where I spend time really trying to break through mental barriers and saying, keep doing what you're doing if it's bringing you towards better health, because at the end of the day, the things that make you healthy will make you hot. You just need to do them long enough, right? Like, you can't do it for a week and be like, oh my God, the scale's not moving. Keep going. Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if you keep getting your sleep, drinking your water, taking your vitamins, like getting in your strength training? Like, these are things that are great. They're going to provide you with a better quality of life overall, but we're so fixated. And trust me, I've been there. I'm sure you have too, because we're the age of like The Biggest Loser and Buns of Steel.
Yep.
So I get it. And also, we need to focus the conversation on health and know that those things will come as a byproduct, but it's just not like sexy and awesome and like everybody wants to sign up for this program because it's going to make me healthy, right? So that's what I'm finding I'm pushing up against if I'm not leading with like, join this program and lose 30 pounds in 12 weeks, right? Like, yes, you very well likely could, but that's not what I'm trying to sell you here. I'm trying to sell you into improving your lifestyle habits, and that will come as a byproduct.
That will come as a byproduct. And I think this bigger conversation of health is we as women need to maximize our muscle as the organ of longevity. And the more muscle we have, the more it's going to balance your blood sugar, the more it's going to help you burn fat. And muscle is going to weigh more on the scale. If you're helping keep your muscle, chances are you're also helping keep your bone. And as we're getting older, we're fighting every day, ladies, after our mid-30s. We are fighting muscle loss, bone loss, like every day. So it's like, I better be doing something to pound those bones to strengthen them. I better be something to be lifting heavy, right? And those two things will make it harder when you're looking at the number on the scale. But I would encourage all of you, if that's really like a big deal to you, is go get DEXA scans. Go check out, where are you? What is your bone health? What is your muscle mass? What is your visceral fat? Those are the health numbers. The scale number, literally, you guys, that's so like 1980s, but we're still stuck in it. We're stuck in it.
Yes. So she said it. I love that so much. And the fact that you said go get a DEXA scan, because I've been saying that lately on podcasts, like, please fucking go throw the scale in the trash and just ignore it. Go get a DEXA scan, figure out what your lean mass is, figure out how your bones are looking right now, and look at your visceral fat and make lifestyle changes to improve that. And you will be hot as a byproduct, I promise.
That's right. Heck yeah.
I guarantee it, like the Men's Warehouse. Okay.
Healthy is the new hot, right? And you'll feel it.
Really, yeah, it really is. It really is. Now, one thing I didn't want to forget to ask you, as a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, a woman, remind me of your age again. I don't want to.
53.
53. I was going to say over
53.
50s. What does your self-care routine look like, right? Like, a lot of women are just like overwhelmed. And granted, we've been in this industry for a while. So what we're doing might have many layers to it, because we've implemented the basics, like our sleep, our water, our training. Like, this is like brushing our teeth for us. But yes, I would love to know how you balance this out to prevent burnout, right? Because a lot of women are burnt out, they're stressed out, and trying to fit it all in seems very overwhelming, right? So I would love to know, give us just, maybe the little rough draft. And I'm always curious what others are doing too, what your self-care routine looks like to keep you this fired up, this vibrant, this on fire about being healthy and hot.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I will say, right, I was a little bit opposite of you, but like, you were like intense bodybuilding. I was intense, like, I'll go, run 20 miles. Like, that was my
I remember
jam.
you were saying that. Yeah.
I really was like, oh my God, it's putting me into adrenal fatigue and burnout. And I would be like, oh my God, if I don't go run 6 miles, I'm going to kill someone. And I'm like, oh no, that's actually only aiding to all this like stress and angst. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I needed to get my kids through college and off to high school to kind of out of high school, off to college, to like literally be okay with putting myself first. I wish I could have told my younger self, like, as I was raising kids, put yourself first. I didn't. So it's okay, right? Now I know. And moving forward with where I am with my self-care is, one, you nailed it. And so women, if you do not have your sleep dialed in and you're not with your height, I don't have to measure my water or my protein, because I know it, right? It's just like done deal. Yep. But some things that I do is really important in the morning is absolutely, I make sure I go get some movement in the morning. And it's usually not my workout, but I'm on my Vibe plate. I'm doing a little bit of stretching, and I'm typically out for a walk with my weighted vest. Not a long walk, but like a 20-minute or so walk, 'cause I'm usually walking my dogs. And it's just like getting some deep breaths in, not taking my phone and checking stuff, but enjoying nature, being grateful to be alive. Like, I used to never be really very present. And the more present I am, the more energy fuels me, right? So that's kind of how I always tell people, like, you've got to find what you love to win your morning in your little bit of routines. And I do a little bit of gratitude. Maybe I don't do long meditations, but I might do anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes, right, of like my meditation. And I found with my kind of workouts, the best thing, I really say it's self-care for me. Like, I don't think about them as exercise at all. It is my self-care. But I really learned a balance of, I love running. It is my like moving meditation. But now I know with my joints and everything, I run twice a week because I love it for 3 to 4 miles. I get walks in all the time or a lot of mini walks. I will tell anybody hot yoga will change your life. You may love Pilates or in the gym or whatever. I will tell you hot yoga will change your life. I usually do that 3 times a week. That fills me up like I just can't even believe it. And then usually, lifting 3 times a week, that's kind of my thing. But the biggest other self-care is having boundaries. Because I used to take everybody's phone call. Everybody's I'll do it, right? Like, it's okay, I'll do it. That has been the biggest self-care for me, that I don't need to do it all. I don't need to be it all for everybody else. It can wait till tomorrow. Life is going to be okay. And when I started being able to let go of all, that is now every day can feel myself, right? So, and then the last thing I'll just throw in is, I used to take I used to take a lot of supplements, then I went to like no supplements. I was trying to figure that whole thing out. And I've really just learned that even in eating organic, the best foods, we cannot actually get enough nutrition in our bodies with our current food sources. So we really do need support. So now through a combination of a few supplements, a few products that activate my body at the level of my genes, that's really reducing inflammation and oxidative stress and helping my body detox on a daily basis versus thinking you got to go on these crazy detoxes. If you can optimize some of those genetic pathways, then you're going to already start really feeling a lot better. So, yeah.
Amazing. This is so good. I love this conversation. I know this is going to impact so many women. They're going to be lit up about it. So this is so awesome. Now, anything that I didn't cover that you want to share on the podcast before we wrap up?
I would just say, ladies, like, you love listening to Diane. That's why you're here. My goal for you is you take one sentence, one pearl from today and go act on it. Because too many of us are in information overload and are really not putting anything into action. So my goal is take one of these things, put it into action, because that's, by you taking action, it's like an act of self-love and it gives self-confidence. And when you have more self-confidence, you're like, oh, I can do hard things. I'll do one more, right? You're building that self-trust. By us abandoning ourselves, it's like no self-trust, no this, oh, I didn't do it, I'll get to it later. And that behavior is not beneficial to our long-term health and wellness.
It is not. And I think that's a lovely way to wrap it up. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Now we have the summit coming up, which I'm so honored to be part of. I'm very excited. Can you share some more information about where they can find info, sign up, and then anywhere else you would love to send everybody to check out anything you have going on would be great. And then we'll link it all in the show notes.
For sure. So ladies, it's November 5th and 6th. There is a VIP option, so you can add on an extra day on the 7th. So it's coming up in just a few weeks. It's free. Invite all of your besties because you're going to want to listen. As you're listening, you'll go, oh, so-and-so needed to hear this. They should have been here too. So it's coming up. It's 5 hours long, so there's going to be multiple speakers each hour. Don't worry, everything's recorded. You'll be able to see it all. If you want to have the VIP option, you can get the recordings for life. But otherwise, you'll have about a 10-day window to go back and listen to anything that you miss at all. There's some absolutely powerhouse speakers that are coming in. The best way really is to either go to the link in the show notes or go on over to me over on Instagram. I'm Kellie Lupsha. And I'm the only Kellie with an IE, so it's pretty easy to find me, which is great. And right there in my link, you'll see the top thing is register for the upcoming summit. So we'd absolutely love to have you there. But the best way to really find me is over on Instagram, or you can go to my website, which is also kellielupsha.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll link everything up so everyone can find you. And I look forward to being a part of that summit, and everything that you're doing for women is amazing. I'm so happy to be a part of this. So thank you so much, Kellie.
Thank you for having me on. Cheers, everyone.
Now, tell me you did not love all of those mic drop moments in this episode, right? So what I'd like for you to do is take one action. Pick 3 little non-negotiables that you can do and start to implement those, right? Like drinking more water, getting in the sun, 5 minutes of movement, right? Do something. Do it tomorrow. Don't let a day go by where you're listening to my content and you're not taking action, right? Information without movement and implementation means it's just more stuff that, passed through one ear and out the other. So if you like today's episode, you loved the little fire starter that I gave you at the top of the episode, you'll want to make sure to get on my newsletter. I'm going to keep reminding you because this is where we connect. This is where you can reply to my emails. Let me know how you're doing. Give me feedback on the podcast. This podcast is really about you. This is the community of boss bitches that I am trying to really unleash and untether from their old selves. And it only helps you if we stay connected. And the newsletter is the best place to do it. That's where I'm going to be talking about the latest things going on, what I'm learning, what's coming up, any retreats, workshops, anything I'm hosting is going to be there, and it's one click away and super easy for you to stay in touch. So make sure you do that. Head over to the show description or the links and sign up, and you won't regret it. All right. I will see you in your inbox.